Who sets the norms in academia? Participants identified 4 groups as the primary norm setters in academia. Supervisors were the most visible figures shaping how participants learned what is meant to be a researcher. Participants' stories suggested that supervision was never a neutral relationship. It was the space where trust, dependency, and power intertwined, and where taken for granted expectations were rendered as common sense. Across participants' stories, supervisors functioned as gatekeepers of legitimacy, mediating access to institutional and symbolic capital through endorsement, references, authorship decisions, and informal permission to publish or speak. The wider university was consistently described as a system in which hierarchies, competition, and politics determined who would advance and on what terms. Institutions were perceived not as neutral administrative units, but as powerful norm setters that defined legitimacy. For participants, institutions appeared both omnipresent and unreachable, highly visible in their rules and procedures, yet absent when students sought help or clarity. Bureaucratic opacity and internal politics reinforced an atmosphere of scarcity, teaching students that advancement depended much on learning how to navigate the systems and relationships as on the quality of one's scholarship. For participants, the publishing system represented the most visible test of academic legitimacy. It was where scholarly value was judged, authority recognized, and belonging either granted or deferred. Yet behind the language of quality and peer review, participants described the publication field as governed by discretion, hierarchy, and inequity. Editorial discretion, peer reviewer comments, and co-authorship hierarchies converged to shape legitimacy through both exclusion and selective recognition. Publishing thus became both an achievement and an ongoing negotiation, an arena where credibility depended on deference, endurance, and association with recognized figures who already held authority. Finally, participants described learning the norms of academic life through everyday interactions with their peer community. Through observation and adjustment, participants learned to read tone, gesture, and silence as cues about what would be said and how one should act. What participants came to understand as professionalism was not directly taught, but was inferred from how their fellow tutors responded to questions, how peers reacted to displays of confidence, and how achievement was acknowledged or minimized. Across classroom and research group settings, participants internalized that fitting into academia required more than knowledge. It required learning its moral and emotional codes.